Sales is a tough game. You know what's tougher? Making the same rookie mistakes over and over. Today, I'm gonna cover off on the top 5 rookie mistakes and importantly, how to prevent them. First up is giving up before enough follow-ups. Here's a reality check. It takes an average of 7 attempts before getting a response from a cold prospect. That's emails, calls, LinkedIn, you name it. Too many rookies send 1 or 2 emails and then give up, effectively ghosting their own prospect. Here's what you need to do instead. Target the right companies and the right people at those companies. Go wide and deep. Reach out to multiple decision makers multiple times on different channels before giving up. Most importantly, you want to stay consistent. Every other day, you want to follow up until you get a response. Remember, persistence beats resistance. Mistake number 2, taking every call. This is something that I personally had challenges with when I first started in sales. Taking calls with anybody who was interested in talking to me, regardless of whether they were qualified or not. What this leads to is a lot of confusion and wasted time on both your end and the prospect's end. Instead, get targeted. Ask yourself, is this prospect a good fit for my solution? Does this call bring me closer to the deal? And is this person gonna be able to make an impact on the decision? And here's a big one, learn to say no. If there's an opportunity that doesn't seem like it would be a good fit or won't move the needle for you, it is better to say no, move on, or recommend somebody else than going down the rabbit hole of pursuing an unqualified deal. Wasting time is one of the worst things that can happen for a salesperson. Protect your time, it is our most valuable resource. Number 3 is talking too much. This is a mistake that I often see with new salespeople, where they go into a meeting and they speak the whole time. This is not how you're supposed to conduct a sales meeting. An effective sales meeting should be back and forth dialogue, where you give some information, ask a question, get them to engage, and then go back and forth with presenting a solution that uses their words. Nobody likes a sales call which feels like a monologue. Too often, rookies spend the entire conversation talking, throwing out features, stats, and buzzwords. By the end of the meeting, they were the ones who spoke the whole time, and the prospect didn't get to put in their 2 cents. By doing this, you have no idea if what you're saying is relevant to the prospect. Here's what you should do instead. Share some brief information about your company or solution, then ask questions and listen. Sales calls should be a back and forth conversation. Doing this, you'll build more trust, it'll be a more productive call, it'll allow you to uncover some valuable information and choose a solution that will be most interesting, most valuable, and move the deal forward. Mistake number 4 is ending calls without setting up clear next steps. Here's a classic rookie move. You feel like the call went super well, and then you end it saying, thanks so much for your time, we'll be in touch, without clearly establish what comes next. Don't do that. Instead, make sure that you leave 5 or 10 minutes before the end of the call to set up those next steps. Have a game plan for what those next steps are gonna be and how you're gonna be able to secure them. Be specific. Instead of saying, let's follow up soon, say, how would you like to schedule a demo at 2 p.m. on Tuesday? Ask them to take out their calendars right then and there and be quiet. This requires you to know your sales cycle like the back of your hand, as well as the buyer's buying process, so that way you can guide them from one step to the next and continue to progress the deal. You need to know what needs to happen internally and externally to progress the deal from each stage of the process, so that way you can ask for what you need to make that deal go forward. If you're unsure, simply ask, what do you think would make sense for next steps on your end? Always aim to secure the next step right then and there. Because from my experience, if they agree to follow up, it will usually take you several follow-ups before you're able to get that on the calendar or get the information that you need to move it forward. People get busy and tend to prioritize time-sensitive activities. Make sure that you take advantage of their attention when you have it. This simple habit keeps deals moving forward and prevents them from getting stuck in no man's land. Finally, mistake number 5, assuming a deal will close. Don't assume a deal is closed until there's ink on the paper. Rookies often stop actively working on a deal once they're sure that it's gonna close, not seeing it through to the end, only to have it derailed by last-minute objections, budget cuts, or terms and conditions issues. Here's how you avoid this. Always be proactive, continuously sticking with a deal all the way through to the end. And here's the golden rule. Never stop prospecting. Never assume a deal is gonna close. Always continue to fill your pipelines. Even when you're in the middle of closing a deal, prioritize continuously filling your pipeline, so you're never too reliant on one deal closing. So there you have it, the top 5 rookie mistakes and how to avoid them. 1, don't give up before following up enough times. Make sure that you have at least 7 touch points. Be selective about which calls you take. Talk less and listen more. Always secure next steps before the meeting ends. And never assume a deal is done until it's actually done. If you can master these, you're already ahead of the pack. Got a rookie mistake that you've made? Drop it in the comment below. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more B2B sales. Head over to my website, andrewbarbuto.com. You can get a free download of the first 3 chapters of my upcoming book, Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota. See you in the next video, and always remember, if you're not helping, you're not selling. Thanks.